Hello, and welcome to the Menowave Lounge, hot flashes and cool conversations. I'm Coach Robin, and today we have Debbie Francis with us. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Robin. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Debbie is the founder of Refleurish Organics, a company dedicated to empowering women through holistic self-care and wellness. Debbie is a certified organic formulator and passionate about helping women gain access to all natural skin and personal care products. She strongly believes in the power of understanding the ingredients in the products we use, how to read labels, and the impacts that synthetic petrochemicals and other toxic ingredients have on our health and well-being. Debbie has over 25 years of experience in health and wellness and behavioral health. Debbie shares incredible resources and her heart for helping women reflourish in her live events and workshop. Welcome, Debbie.
It's a good day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm just so happy to have you on the show today. And you have such a wonderful story about how you started this. So, can you share a little bit about how you started Reflourish Organics and what inspired you?
Yes, I can. I've been making homemade recipes, mixing oils and different ingredients for years. But it wasn't until I hit menopause did I start feeling all of the symptoms of menopause, including dryness. I tried several things. My OBGYN recommended creams and a bunch of stuff. But not only did it not work, it actually made me feel worse. So I started making a frozen concoction. It was a little frozen coconut carrot that I mixed oils with, and it really helped me. And that lasted a couple of years until the pain became unbearable during intimacy. And back then, I was traveling extensively. I was in a corporate position. A little hard to bring a frozen insert with you when you're traveling. That led me to go back to school. I needed to learn more, and therein began my journey.
Now, you're a certified organic formulator. I haven't heard about this, so this is really interesting to me. For those familiar, why is this so important for personal care products?
That's a great question. I have a diploma in organic skincare formulation from Formula Botanica, and it also includes a certificate in stability testing, which is important. For those who've never heard of Formula Botanica, they are the world's leading accredited organic cosmetic science school. They're online, and it's a process that takes hundreds of hours of study. Many people think you need to be a chemist, but that is not accurate. It is through trial and error, research, a ton of research, and experimentation, educate individuals. And it includes graduated learning. And what that means is you can't move on to the next module until you've passed the current module, which includes a test. So I've had many tests. And there's a big project at the end, which is graded. And that's when you'll receive your diploma to learn how to take the next level of what I was doing for years and create products that are meant to be mixed together, which includes butters, oils, and hydrosols, and learning all the definitions of those types of things really helped me get to the products that we offer now, which are lovely. Not only was it challenging, but it was a great experience. So here we are. We have an official brand and three great products.
That is quite a journey. There's so much that goes into our products that we just don't understand. And for you to take the time to explain to us and help us understand the differences and why it's so important to have good, clean, organic products and ingredients and the different things that go into everyday products that we put into our body or on our face or our skin is really important. There's can be a lot of confusion around natural and organic labeling. How can women be more informed and empower in their choosing their products?
I think we talked about this a little bit before, Robin. A lot of people hear about greenwashing, and it's confusing to women because there are vague labels, there could be misleading packaging, and some brands actually even highlight a few hero ingredients. So they might highlight chamomile, but there is a long list of harsh other ingredients included. So you think it's natural and good for you, but it isn't. The most important thing, and I do have a checklist that I'm going to make available to all of our ladies. It's real simple. Here are the quick things to look at. Number one, you need to understand the order of ingredients. When you turn a bottle around, the top 3 to 5 ingredients make up the majority of the product. If it starts with a word that you can't understand or pronounce, it might not be good for you. But as you're reading more of the ingredients throughout the list, you might see a paraben or a phthalate or petroleum or a silicone. You have to personally identify what natural means to you. And if you're okay with using those ingredients, then it's fine. But if you're not and you prefer to use an organic, wild harvested product, then those ingredients should not be included in the list of ingredients on the product that you're using. Some names may be misleading. For example, tocopherol, tocopherol. That's actually vitamin E. So that's not an ingredient that is negative. Vitamin E is very good for you. The same thing with ascorbic acid. You may look at that and think, oh, I don't want to put acid on my body. Ascorbic acid is actually vitamin C. And then you have glycerin and a few other things that you should look out for, like aloe vera and some other good things. So just because you can't pronounce the ingredient does not necessarily mean it's bad for you. You just need to understand what it is. And again, I will provide that checklist for women so they can go through that checklist and say, hey, here's my definition of natural, and here's what I'd like to be using on my skin.
That is very important to understand what you're reading on labels and how it would interact on your skin because everybody's a little bit different and we don't always know if we're going to be allergic, if we're going to have an outbreak, or our skin is going to really love it. So natural and organic, those two wording, it sounds like they should be somewhat close to the same meaning, but is that true? Is organic more something else that we should pay attention to, or is natural just like a buzzword?
Natural is a buzzword, but if something is truly wild harvested, and it is natural, it is great for you. Organic is another level of certification. Organic is an ingredient in its purest form with no chemical processing that has touched that ingredient. So you can go down a whole rabbit hole in regards to the GMO project and what is certified, what's not certified. So you've just given me an idea to include those definitions in my checklist, and we can make that available to all the ladies. It's easy for them to understand.
Yes, that would be really helpful. I know I'm a big label reader when I go into a store. I'm always looking at the back. And I know that so many of these products we see on the shelves are common names. They are green washed, and you turn it around and there's 3 inches of product ingredients listed. I always try to stay with things that I recognize. The certifications I look for are important, and then is it certified organic? That's a really big, because not all products say that. Good information on that, and I'm glad that you're putting together a list. So let's switch over to the other side. So, what are some of the dangers of these synthetic and petrochemical ingredients? Could you highlight a few of them and tell us maybe 2 or 3 to watch out for?
Yes, absolutely. Parabens that I mentioned earlier are an absolute no-no, especially for women going through menopause. They're endocrine disruptors. For those of us that are in menopause, we want to make sure that everything that's going on in our body is balanced. And then I mentioned phthalates, and there's synthetic fragrances that have hidden chemicals in them. And you mentioned potential allergens. Often those synthetic fragrances that we think are natural or organic are actually not good for us because they are chemically created and processed. So you really have to pay attention. Is there a essential limon or lemon essence oil, orange oil included? Or is it a synthetic fragrance? And if it's listed at the very bottom and it is not an essential oil and it's less than 1%, it could be under natural ingredients or other natural flavors. And that's when you have to be concerned because you have no idea what that means. If it's under 1% in the actual formula itself, it doesn't have to be listed on the label.
Good point.
Interesting.
Good
Yes.
point. Yes, it can be a little overwhelming when you're going shopping and looking at all this, but I think I'm a big proponent of being informed, like you said, because that empowers our choices and our decisions on what we buy and what we put on our skin. And I also want to bring up another thing that came to me. It was in a conversation that I had. When we think about all the things that we put on our face, we think, oh, it's just a little bit here, a little dab there. If you have the wash that you're using, the toner, then you put on an eye cream and then maybe an overall, and then maybe you put on a collagen, and then you put your actual makeup on. You could actually be putting almost 10 or more products on your face. And so all those things layer up. And if you're in menopause and can be sensitive to some of these things that build up over the course of the day can really affect your hormones and how you're feeling and how your skin is breathing or not breathing. It is the largest organ in our body. So we have to learn how to take care of it in ways that produce health for us in a comfortable way. When I started thinking about that, that just really blew me away because I don't think we really think about that. Think about how much product we put on our hair. We wash it, we condition it, we put a mousse on it, we blow dry it, and that affects our head, our mind, and our skin. It really made me stop and think about things in a way. What do you
We
think?
could do a whole podcast on hair care, the ingredients that go into our shampoos and conditioners. There's a whole course at Formula Botanica just on hair care. It's definitely research and learning. Less is more, especially as we age. To your point, Robin, less can be more. It's the whole thing about health and wellness, understanding your body and how it reacts to what you put on it and what you put in it.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about your 5 R's philosophy. What are they and how do they help us? Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Yes. So our 5 R's are our pillars, right? We like to communicate how to reclaim and rediscover, helping women to gain their confidence. So many of us, as we're going through menopause, we're so affected emotionally with all of the symptoms, and it could bog us down. That leads me to number 2, regaining your true identity, who you are right now, not who you were 5 years ago before menopause, but allowing yourself to experience all of the emotions and symptoms and discovering again how your body's reacting. So, who are you when you look in the mirror? Are you okay with yourself? The third one is restoring a positive attitude toward intimacy because we tend to get into this negative emotional swirl sometimes that includes I'm exhausted, I'm having a hot flash, and I am not interested in being intimate with my partner. We're helping educate and identify ways to restore a positive attitude towards intimacy so that you can flip the switch. Speak positive words of affirmation, reaffirming yourself and your partner, which leads us to the fourth, reigniting the passion of your youth. How
Hmm.
you approach life. When you were young, nothing got you down. You were just full of vigor and life had dreams and possibilities. I know that Gwen, the founder of our wonderful Menowave support group, does this gratitude post frequently. And I love seeing that because being grateful for what we have and focusing on the positive instead of the negative really helps us to choose joy daily. And then it brings us to number five, our five R's wrapped up, reflourish, to nourish your relationships and who you are so that you can blossom and grow personally and with your partner. Life is precious. Every day is a gift. We want our products, we want women to feel good when they're using the products, hence the name Refleurish Organics, so that you can really have that positive relationship and feel good about who you are.
Yes, that's so important. That connection is really like a 360. You can't just have one without affecting the other parts of body, mind, spirit, especially when we're in menopause, because it's such a different part of our life. It's that next chapter, and it may feel crazy. Your body is doing things that you never thought it would be doing and
Right.
acting in certain ways. And then it's the whole balancing of the hormones and understanding what that is. So
Yes.
it really is a big picture. There's things we can do. We can take things one step at a time to not only physically help our body, but emotionally and spiritually. Putting them together so that they make a balance is what I try to practice for myself every day. I check in with myself first thing in the morning. How am I feeling today? What do I need? Do I need exercise more? Do I need to get out? Do I need to eat right? Am I taking my supplements so I'm staying healthy? Doing a little bit of yoga, saying a prayer, having some affirmations. So all of these things keep you balanced and whole. And I think it's really important that we have people like Debbie that help women understand how to put all these things together. Debbie, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that with us. It'd be exciting to see one of your live events because you would walk away so enriched with all the information that you share and how you care. You have 20 years of experience in this. So this is just perfect for you to be in this field talking about health and wellness and our behaviors. Can you share a little bit about your products and self-care and why it's important? Because we haven't really talked about your products yet.
Yes. Paying attention to where your body is and how you're feeling is important to identify triggers to help you feel good. And our products do that. It's like the icing on the cake to help you get to the next level intimacy. We have three products. Our JJ Replenish inserts are a solid insert that you use a day or two before intimacy at night to help nourish your delicate parts internally. It is a personal lubricant made with all natural, organic, and wild harvested oils and products. I cannot say they are quote unquote certified because my facility needs to be certified, but the ingredients themselves are certified. So it's important to understand the difference. By using these products, it's changed my life and my hubby's life to now feel good again when we're intimate. The other product that we have is a clementine or a topical lubricant, again, made with wonderful oils. They are called anhydrous products, so there's no water used. And the clementine has a lovely orange blossom scent that helps to invigorate a couple of the individuals in our focus groups. The men commented on how lovely the smell was. The third product we have is a nourishing body oil that is to address super dry skin, and it's used after showering or bathing. All three are available on our website. And if individuals join our community, they'll get a special code and discount, flourishorganics.com.
That is so great that you created the products to interact with each other. So there's something for everybody. And intimacy is such an important part of our life. I feel like menopause kind of steals that away from us. So rebuilding that and putting a spotlight on what intimacy now looks like for you is really important. And it's wonderful that you have these products. And I love that you have named it Reflourish. because that's such a great term. How did you come up with that? What does that personally mean for you, if I can ask that? How did that happen?
I'm laughing because the original name of the company was going to be Carrot Bunny. I mentioned those little frozen coconut inserts, right? I had bought a mold on Amazon and it was in the shape of a carrot because I was trying to get it to the right size. And then, of course, going back to school, getting the viscosity and the stability for shelf stable production was very important. And as I was doing research, I realized that in my relationship with my husband, it was starting to blossom again. And we've been married a long time. Anybody that's been married over 25 years, right? You have to do things to keep the lines of communication open. You have to date each other and pay attention to the small things. It was through prayerful consideration and research that I wanted to use Reflourish. It has a lot of meaning because we as a couple are blossoming again. We're flourishing. We flourished in the early years, right? And then menopause came and the next level of busyness. I've always been a full-time working mom. I wasn't in menopause, so there were no issues, right? There are no symptoms. We figured out ways to take care of each other physically and emotionally. When you get to menopause, you're really consumed with you because of all of the symptoms. So having those honest conversations with my husband was important. And as we continue to have the conversations, he laughs. He says he's Chief Research and Development Officer. And we are, again, helping our relationship to reflourish. So that's where it comes from.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with me. So, what's ahead for Reflourish Organics? Are there new exciting products, events, things that you want to share with us?
We are always investigating new ways to help individuals. I made a personalized skincare line for one of my besties here in Florida for her birthday last year. A lotion, a balm, many different skincare products with her own fragrance, Egyptian goddess. I've had a lot of friends ask me, I want you to make that for me for my birthday, an entire line. So I don't know. We'll see. We're investigating. We're also being asked for another flavor for the lubricant. We've been testing passion berry, but I've had a few others in our focus group ask for green apple. So we might go back to the drawing board for that. So we'll see.
That sounds exciting. Looking forward to seeing the new products that you come out with. One last question. Do you customize for individuals?
Only for gifts right now. There's a lot of work that goes into creating a product and a scent, and many different steps you need to go through to create a product. A lotion may be a emulsion, which includes water and all different steps to create that lovely thin feel, whereas a body butter will include mango butter or cocoa butter or other butters mixed with fragrances. You create a body butter differently than you create a lotion. And then you look at oils. So there are multiple steps that you need to go through for each of the different types of products. And each takes right now for gifts, but who knows what the future will hold.
I'm looking forward to seeing where you go with all of this because it's so exciting. Now, I understand, Debbie, that you have a live Q&A coming up on the Menowave support group for women.
We'll be posting that. It's going to be on a Friday in a few weeks. We'll post that date live and invite individuals. I think we should definitely go through the checklist of ingredients, have some definitions for women to understand what natural means to them, and then share some great best practices to keep it fun, interesting, as we're all sharing different experiences and where we are in our Menowave journey.
That's exciting. I'm looking forward to learning more and diving a little deeper into these topics. And it's exciting that you are going to be having a live Q&A. Women have a lot of questions about that. Thank you, Debbie. This has been such a pleasure having you on our show today. Any final thoughts you'd like to share?
I would say be kind to yourself. This is only a phase, and we're all in it together to support each other. I have a favorite scripture, Nehemiah 8:10. I choose joy every day. And sometimes I have to say that a few times during the day if something's getting me down or I feel overwhelmed. It is important to be kind to yourself. Flipping that negative switch and watching what we say out of our mouths makes a big difference. As working moms, as busy individuals, we're hard on ourselves. Kindness matters. Choosing joy matters. Having a positive mindset is important. Be kind to
Absolutely.
yourself and enjoy the journey.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that and sharing your experiences and that scripture with us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Menowave Lounge, Hot Flashes and Cool Conversations. Please follow us. We are on YouTube, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. We will have the links to the Menowave Women's Support Group, Facebook group, and also to check out Debbie's website, Refleurish Organic Community. Feel free to reach out to her live Q&A and check out her website. So thanks again, Debbie, for being on. Take care.
Thank you so much, Robin. Have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.
See you next time.